Wow, that CA glue is some good stuff. What is up, DIY Nation, and welcome back to YOUFLOOR, the channel bringing you tips and tricks to help you with your next flooring project. And today I wanted to go over the many uses for CA glue, or at least the many uses that I use it for on my jobs, and also wanted to give you a chance to receive some CA glue for free. So stick around to the end of the video, you're not going to want to miss that. Alright, so let's jump into it. The reason that I even am making this video is because a viewer wrote into me and wanted to know, hey Z, I bought this stuff called Trimfinity from Home Depot and the CA glue is not working on it. Now I've never used Trimfinity trim and I thought, he said something about being foam, and the first time I saw this was Richard using it on Finished Carpentry TV, where he glued some foam beams together. So I decided to go buy this Trimfinity myself and find out, was it something that he was doing that I'm not doing, or did he have the wrong CA glue, or is that trim just not usable with the CA glue? So I went and bought some. This is Trimfinity. It is a shoe mold. It looks exactly like shoe mold, but it has some kind of a plastic on the outside, and it also has a foam on the inside. Wow. Now I glued that return together weeks ago, but we're going to do that again right now and go over that so that you can see. So what I wanted to do was a couple fittings that you would need to use this for. I think he said he was going to be using it in the bathroom, so I wanted to show you how you could do returns with this and how you just can do some corners inside and outside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and recut this 45. One thing I will tell you about this Trimfinity, it does have a plastic outing, so you want to get the blade spinning really fast and come down and maybe slide it out, but you definitely don't want to leave it spinning on the material because it will melt it, because like I say, it is plastic. Now, I'm going to try to cut this return piece here without it flying off somewhere else, and I can't find it, but we'll try to see if we can't get it first time. What I'm wanting to do is line up this side of my blade with my line right there on the corner. It didn't get away from me. All right, so that's what we're looking for, is that little tiny piece right there. That is our return. Okay, so since we had our blade facing this way, we want to finish and do it on this side to put it together. I'll set my return there. All right, and then we'll come down on this side. All right, and now see, that will go together just like that. And now that is if you're going up against some trim, or if you're going up against a tub, or just anywhere where there's an end piece, that's what it's gonna look like right there. Also, I wanna go ahead and, while I'm at it, cut an outside corner here and an outside corner here, which I already have cut, so I can put those together. And maybe we'll do an inside corner. So we'll go ahead and cut this outside corner here. And then, you know what? Why not cut an inside corner? Now I noticed different materials with the CA glue act a little bit different. This is MDF and we glued it together a little while ago, and as you can see, it's pretty solid. So if you had to glue a bunch of stuff together, like I did in my video where I had to do this stuff on a staircase, the CA glue came in very handy that day. All right, so this Trimfinity, so let's see. I got the little piece right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with gluing that piece up first. I put a little dab of the CA glue, and you can see I switched brands only because I wanted to try a couple different brands because the price may be a little cheaper. This is the Miter APEL, so there's that. I put this, now basically this is just super glue, so you guys know if you've used super glue before, you're trying to glue a trophy back together or something like that. It never works. You got to sit there and hold it forever. So here's our other piece right here. I'm going to spray a little bit of that accelerator on there. And we take our piece, try not to squeeze it out towards the outside because it does make a mess. So you want to put that together there and hold that there. I usually hold mine for about 10 seconds. So let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it seems to be pretty stuck. You can see it sticking over just a little bit right there. You can take a sanding block or something like that and just sand that down and that'll be smooth. But that's how you would do a return, just like that. And as you see, I'm banging that on there. I'm not exactly sure where the problem came in with the other guy, but the Trimfinity does seem to glue together for me pretty well, at least on the return it does. So we are going to try an outside corner, and we're also going to try an inside corner, okay? All right, so here we have our pieces like this. Let me go ahead and cut this. Since I have my outside corner go that way, I'll go ahead and cut one this way. All right, so we have our piece that goes here, right? And we also have our piece that goes here. So let's try to get these where we can fit them all on the camera. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is our inside corner, and that would be this one right here. I'll put a little dab of the CA glue on it right there. And then I'll spray a little bit of this on here. And I'll put them together. I hold it, like I say, for about 10 seconds. And as you can see, I've seen other people doing this. I'm sliding it around the wood a little bit, but I'm keeping it tight pressed together. And the reason I'm sliding it around is because I don't want the super glue to stick to the wood down below. If it does that, it's a pain getting it back up. But I think that's been about 10 seconds right there. You can clean that up, like I say, with the sanding block right there. But it seems to be pretty stuck. That's an inside corner. But let's go ahead and do our outside corner here too. All right, I'll put a little bit on the outside corner. And remember, we want to try to keep it towards the inside. We don't want squeezing out. It doesn't hurt if it does, but... And remember, we want to try to keep it towards the inside. We don't want it squeezing out the front. I'm just going to stick this together. Again, we're going to hold it for about 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and there you go. You have it. You have the whole thing is together. You got an inside corner, you have an outside corner, and it seems to hold the Trimfinity pretty good. I can see where I'm pulling on it right there and it's starting to come apart, but it may be where remember I told you I don't get it towards the outside enough, but this one seems to be pretty stuck. I got it spread out pretty good, but it's still stuck for the purposes of installing this. And if I had to install it up against a tub or something like that, I would probably use silicone and hot glue. Hot glue just to hold it in place until the silicone sets up, but that'll keep it waterproof for you. All right, so I wanted to show you this. I threw the piece of the 3-piece that I had together on the ground. I just threw it on the ground, and I threw it on grass, and it came apart in 3 pieces. So if this is something you're wanting to use, I would definitely let them set up and get a little bit harder before I started moving them around a whole lot. And then I would go use the silicone and hot glue to put them in place. I would not shoot brad nails through this because who knows, this thing could blast all to pieces. Like I say, it is just foam wrapped in plastic. So there you go with the Zfinity. Although our return over here, it's still pretty stuck. And like I say, that's because that thing has been on there for quite a while. I cannot get that off. I have tried, look. These 4-in-1 transitions from Pergo. Now you guys have seen me put these together in quite a few videos, and I've said often that I like to use CA glue to glue these together because when it comes time to clip them into that little metal track, sometimes it's not always easy to keep them together and clip them in. And not only that, the white line on them needs to be colored because they don't do a great job of coloring that strip all the way. So I like to color it in and then glue it together, and then I have a 1-piece to clip into my metal strip. I'm going to show you how to do that right now with the CA glue. Okay, so right here I opened up a pack and I cut a small section for this little flooring part over here that I've already made up for you guys. Okay, now these Pergo 4-in-1s, they come with a U-channel, which is this metal track, and it is encased with this black strip right here. And inside of the black strip, you'll find a lot of times these screw inserts for concrete, or if you're having a tough situation, I don't know what else you would use them for. Certainly you're not putting a transition on drywall. But anyway, this right here are the screws you would use if you were going down into wood. And they send that with inside the little pack, and it's all wrapped up in a little package like that. Now, in the past I've showed you where you can take cardboard and stuff it up underneath your transition to build it up, because a lot of times this U-channel is way down in there and you can't reach it, right? So we have to pad that up. But they send this black strip right here, which mimics cardboard also. It's a little bit stiffer, and it clips right inside, so you can see. It's real handy and dandy to just put this thing on the bottom, and that'll lift it up, whatever it is that you need to lift it up if you're going from something that's a little bit higher to a little bit lower, like we're doing today in my example. Let's take a look at that. All right, take a look at this floor assembly I've set up for you guys already right here. This is where we got a higher floor and we got a lower one. This was LVP and it's got a plank. As you can see, I've just cut a strip of this and put it up underneath this, and that elevated it enough so that it was flush with the top of this right here, so that this part of my transition, so that part can clip down in there. So this part is not needed. You would only need this if you did something like this and maybe you're going up to tile and now it doesn't reach down in there, so you need to bring this up a little bit more. You would put this on the bottom of this and elevate it just a little bit more, the thickness of that. And if you need any more, you can also just flip the thing over and set the transition on top of that, and that builds it up quite a bit as well, almost 1/8 of an inch. So that's what they send this thing out for. It's on the directions. I found that out way later, but anyway, we all learn. All right, so this is what I'm speaking of. If you could take a look at this, this has a white line. It's really thin, but it's when you try to put these transitions together, you'll notice if it doesn't go all the way up underneath there, you can see that. And sometimes they just do not click together very well. So what I like to do is, before I glue this thing together, I'll color this thing in with one of these stain pens. And that just helps to darken it in, so when I glue it back together, there's no white showing. So that's just a tip that I've learned. I'll go ahead and color this thing in and get it ready for you guys. All right, we got it colored in. Now I want to show you the CA glue part of this. What I like to do with these is go ahead and drop a little bit of this glue on this piece here. Just one bead all the way across is what I usually do. I should have turned it around the other way where you guys can see, but I will flip it around so you can see how big the bead is. There you go. See that? Just one bead of glue about like that big right there. And now, and I can do it on here, this is nobody's floor, right? We're not trying to impress anybody. I spray this with the accelerator and I get it pretty good and wet. All right, so now that it's wet, I want to get it and put it in there and place it flush whenever I'm putting my transitions together, and just press it up in that corner and hold it right there for just a few seconds. Now if I can do that, I'll flip it over like this and press down. Hold that for 10 seconds. Now like I say, if you want to put these things together before you start anything and then just set them aside so they can be curing, then by the time you come to do transitions, you've already got them glued up and ready to go, so you don't have to do all one at a time. All right, so there you go. You can see that that thing is stuck like Chuck. I mean, that transition is good to go. So when it comes time to clipping this thing in right here, we're all set up. I can just simply, let me clip it in from the side so you guys can see what it is I'm actually doing here. This is your floating floor and this is your whatever floor, but you can see that this one is slightly higher than this one right here. We have a 1/4 inch expansion gap here and a 1/4 inch expansion gap here. We just come in with this transition and we start from one end, clip it in. And as you can see, once it bites and grabs a hold of it like that, I mean, I can pretty much just push it down the rest of the way. And that's how I install those from higher to lower. I glue them together with the CA glue, and it's beautiful. All right, done with that. Okay, a couple more things I wanted to show you right quick. This is an LVP transition, so I did want to at least test it to see if it's going to work. That way you guys know and you don't have to test yourself. So I'm going to put a little bit of CA glue on the bevel edge side over here. And this is like a plastic or some kind of polymer, PVC, something similar as that. So I put the CA glue on that side and I spray this bevel side. And we'll stick it together and we'll use our normal 10 seconds. Let's see how this goes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I let it go. And it seems to be pretty stuck, guys. So even the PVC, the LVP transitions up, you can see it pull apart there. So this may be one of the situations where you want to let it sit for a little while. It even went back together just a little bit more. So yeah, I would say the glue needs to sit up a little bit more on your LVP transitions, but there, I mean, it does work. definitely works. Okay. Wood transitions. How does this stuff work on wood? Well, we're about to find out. Again, I'm going to put glue on the beveled edge side that's sticking out here. I would call this the short, but you guys call it whatever you want. All right, you can see I was generous with it on that. And then I will take the beveled side over here and spray some of the accelerator on it. And then we will hold it together and see what we come up with on this. Now, I've had situations where I've had to two-piece transitions together just because it wasn't long enough. You know what I'm saying? And laminate, I can tell you, this stuff works great on laminate, the laminate transitions, but sometimes I'll get it where it's just not looking good, where it's lined up, where you can see this wood grain, it lines up with that because I cut it from that piece. But what I'll do is I'll take some of these markers and I'll come through with either a Sharpie or something dark and draw a wood grain like this, and then I rub it. But the Sharpie looks way better on it, but it mimics wood grain, and it helps you if you don't have anything on there and they look totally different. It'll help that blend those two together. All right, that's our tip for that, and it looks like wood holds up pretty daggum good. Okay, and then the last thing I want to show you is something similar to this. This is always great, and if you're having to do projects like this stuff is going to get nailed to the wall, caulked and painted, so putting it together is always way easier. Like I say, if I'd have learned about this stuff in the past, it would have been a game changer. I used to install cabinets, and this would have been great for my crown mold on the top. I will tell you that if you don't let it sit for quite a while and you're trying to use it to bend around things, sometimes it will break the seal. But as you can see, I'm putting a corner together right here, right now, to show you this. And this is baseboard. This is just something that I cut up and I modified it. This is for another video. I'll show you how to make one of these if enough people comment on how do you do that, Z. But I put glue on one side, like I say. This stuff is amazing. And then I spray it with the other side. And it absolutely does not take very long for this stuff to dry. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now see, if you can glue this stuff together before you nail it on the wall, a lot of times the walls are not always straight, right? And it sticks out a little bit more, or it's bowed out or whatever. So if you're trying to put it up in multiple pieces, you could put one up, but then when you go to put the other one up, it doesn't line up, and it's always a pain. So if you could put it together in one piece and nail it up as one piece, you could pop your nails in the corners and let the caulk fill in the rest of it, and it looks very beautiful when it's all caulked and painted. And there's that, you see? That wraps around the corner, and that would slide up underneath the cabinet. And guys, take a look at this, and take a look at this. Don't do this and slide that up underneath your cabinets. Not when you can do this. And you can do that with this CA glue. As you can see, look at that. That thing has almost become one. And so you can take that, stick that up on your wall, pop some nails in it, do a little caulking on the top, paint it all up nice, and it's real smooth and flush out there. So, all right guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you guys got some value out of that, and I hope you learned something. I think we both learned a little bit together that it works on some things and it doesn't work on others. You just have to do some testing for yourself. But overall, if you're going to be using MDF, if you're going to be using wood, especially if it's not had any kind of stain or anything on it, I think it works perfect. If you're going to be doing cabinet crown molding or anything such as that, light rail, anything we're going to, especially the baseboard when you're having to go up and down the stairs like I did in my other video, it worked out great for me on that one. So if you're wanting to try this stuff out, I have a special surprise for you. Amazon has a 2-pack of this stuff, and I thought, hey man, if I'm gonna recommend this stuff, I might wanna let somebody try it for free. That way they can get the feel for it themselves. So I did order the 2-pack, and I wanna send somebody out there. This pack right here comes with the CA glue, and it comes with the accelerator. You can get home and glue all kinds of things together yourself and figure out how that stuff works. Okay, so if you're interested in that, what I want you to do is go smash that like button. I want you to share this video with somebody else. That way we can help build this channel and push it out to other people who may not see it. And last but not least, go down to the comments and say, I'm in, Z. That's all I want you to comment. And what I'll do is for the next 2 weeks, I'll keep a look in the comments and we'll draw one lucky winner. And If you're watching this video after the drawing has already happened, don't fret, you can still get in on some free stuff. What I've decided to do is to try to give away at least one item every month, and at the end of the year during Christmas time, I would like to give away one big grab bag of a lot of the goodies I've used over this year on my videos. So if you're interested in that, the only way to get notified is to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll run this for about 2 weeks, and I'll try to contact you through comments if you want. If you're Instagramming, you can leave me your Instagram handle and I'll look you up that way. But I'm sure we can get in touch with you guys in some way, fashion, or form. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this one. Until next time, take care and stay safe. Peace.